These are 3 things that planners overlook. Good afternoon, this is Greg Mayer, Director of Meetings and Events, and today I'm going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is planners, things that they might overlook and forget to plan for. So the first one is the flow of a program. And that can start, quite frankly, from the very beginning, from the site visit itself, how to transition into the hotel, what we call the load-in. The load-in would be something where an 18-wheeler, a box truck, that would typically go to a loading dock, and they would want to know how to come into the hotel. In our case, we're very fortunate that we have an outside area called Ballroom Circle. They can literally come through the outside of the foyer space without transitioning from the loading dock, if you will, up and down freight elevators. So registration is also very key. A lot of times planners tend to forget, they want to be near the ballroom doors for attendees to come in. Do you really want to have 500, 600, 800 people lining up in a single line out front of the ballroom? So we talk about different places where we can do registration. We can do a pre-registration a day before. We can do using stanchions and do like a zigzag. So it really brings more people together in a closer area versus long wrapping lines. And then of course to the flow would be the breakout space. A lot of people, they think it's, really cool and neat to see a ballroom with high ceilings and chandeliers, and they forget sometimes, the flow from where they're going to transition from the general session portion to, let's say, breakouts, and then vice versa. Number two is the back of the house. What do I mean by that? So our ballroom can set up in a couple different configurations. We can set it up more like wider, so it's like landscape if you're looking at a piece of paper, or if you want to do it portrait, which is more longer. So you might have 25% of the room be further back, and so they don't feel connected to the front of the room. And by doing it that way, my staff, or a lot of hotel staff, would have to come in through the side. So it's very disruptive to the attendees when they see staff come in through the side, versus if we were to have it landscape, the width of the room, then my staff would come from the back side. So they would, come around, go in through the back side of the ballroom. So that way you're not infringing or disrupting the actual attendee. A lot of the, we call it instructors or speakers, they hate to be, distracted, because they also are in a flow, kind of like what I'm doing. I'm talking. I would hate it if someone were to walk in this room right now and disrupt my flow of me speaking. So that's important, and the back of the house has a lot to do with that. So it's just really how the staff comes into the room. So that's number two. Then the third and final one is more contingency planning. A lot of times planners will come and we'll do a site visit, and we'll see and check out all the space. And because, Southern California, people love California, the weather, and some of our groups come from all over the country, around the world, and so they want to experience the outdoors. So sometimes they're caught inside with general sessions, workshops, breakouts. So they want to be able to indulge outside for the breakfast, lunch, or opening gala, or reception or dinner at night. But then again, once in a while, depending on the year, we do have rain, or it might be cold in the morning or cold at night, believe it or not. So you have planners that come in and go, I want to be outside. And then so they just plan that way, and they have the ballroom, the breakout sessions in theater style, meaning there's no tables. So if it were to rain, you would not be able to be outside. So then you would have to come inside. And if the room is already set up theater style, then we find ourselves flipping the room, tearing it down, and then setting up for the night. And a lot of times you just don't have that kind of time. So it's always important, and I find that usually an experienced planner will think about those things. And sometimes I get planners that aren't as experienced, and they're dead set on having an outside event. And then it's usually the day of, what are we gonna do? So that's where myself and my team try to really drive home the need to have a backup plan, a contingency plan. And what I mean by that is I always recommend, even for your general session, to have round tables set crescent style, so that if it does rain, you can come inside the ballroom. So you come inside the ballroom and you're all ready to go. You can sit down and eat. We clear the tables, china, glass, and silver, and then they're taking a break, and then they come back in for the rest of the afternoon. So that is extremely important when planning for contingency. And like I said, that happens for whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, but it's always important to have those discussions way in advance versus the morning of or just the night before. So to sum it up, it's basically the flow of the program, the back of the house, how you're transitioning in and out of the ballroom. Is it disruptive? And then the third one is a contingency based on, is there going to be rain, inclement weather, wind, is it rainy, cold, too hot? Sometimes that can be it. So it's really just understanding the weather, depending on where you are in the country, especially here. We're very fortunate, but there have been times where we've had to make some last minute decisions, which always makes for a very, very interesting day.